Welcome, age of vintage society. Cybill Shepherd was a former beauty queen model whose sudden rise to stardom, high-profile romances, precipitous drop in popularity and spectacular television comeback and respect earned her a reputation as one of Hollywood's most mercurial yet determined actresses. How Cybill Shepherd seduced both Elvis Presley and Bruce Willis. Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you are new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Age of Vintage channel. Cybill Shepherd is a true American beauty, from her teenage years when she won Miss Teenage Memphis, to later on starring alongside numerous Hollywood actors such as Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver and Bruce Willis in TV series Moonlighting. Cybill has been a star in American television and films. People also remember her for her role as Kelly in the film Heartbreak Kid in 1972. Her beautiful blue eyes, blonde hair and tall and statuesque nature made her perfect for the role. Shepherd first achieved fame with her looks, with the blonde hair, the sun-kissed complexion and the glow of health and happiness that provided an American heartland rebuttal to the neurasthenic exoticism of such in vogue Euro-sophisticates as Verushka and Twiggy. Shepherd was born February 18, 1950 in Memphis, Tennessee, the daughter of Patty, a homemaker, and William Jennings Shepherd, who managed a home appliance business. Cybill was named using a name blend that referred to her grandfather Cy and her father Bill. While attending East High School, Shepherd won the Miss Teenage Memphis title and represented the city at the 1966 Miss Teenage America pageant at age 16, where she won the Congeniality Award. She competed at the 1968 Model of the Year contest at age 18, making her a fashion star of the 1960s and resulting in fashion model assignments through high school and afterward. Her fresh scrubbed looks and natural figure offered a realistic alternative to the ultra-thin European models of the 1960s, making her a popular cover model for girls' and women's magazines. During this period, Shepherd also landed the first of her many celebrity lovers in Elvis Presley, whom she dated at the tender age of 19, a brief flirtation Shepherd would often remember fondly. Elvis Presley as a lover was indescribable, she said. It was 1972 and all the guys wore cheap cologne apart from him. He smelled soapy and sweet like sugar and sweat. I felt a lot for him. She said she left him after he tried to get her to use drugs with him. He invited her to Graceland after deep-fried peanut butter, banana and mayonnaise sandwiches. It was off to the bedroom, all red and black with a fake leopard cover on a king-size bed, 4 TVs and smoky mirrors on the walls and ceilings. I had no doubt about how it would end. There was soft kissing on my neck and arms, pulling off layers of clothing to reveal new places. I had fun in Elvis's bed. His kisses were slow and deliberate, his skin so smooth. He'd become a little passé, but he was, after all, the king, the blonde stunner recalled. Things were different during a weekend in Vegas when Shepherd says a chubby Elvis gave her a handful of pills to get high, but she flushed them down the toilet. Any possibility of Nookie had evaporated. He seemed far away and woozy, she remembered. A 1970 Glamour magazine cover caught the eye of film director Peter Bogdanovich. His then-wife Polly Platt claimed that she saw the cover in a checkout line in Ralph's grocery store in Southern California. He said, "That's JC," referring to the role Bogdanovich was casting and ultimately given to Shepherd in The Last Picture Show. The film became a critical and box office hit, earning 8 Academy Award nominations and winning 2. Shepherd was nominated for a Golden Globe. While working on the film, Cybill had many affairs on set, and Jeff, her co-star, just happened to be one of them. She revealed the two of them would keep company after hours. However, in 2008 she admitted that on-set hookups were a bit risky. It's not a good idea to date your leading men, but sometimes it's hard not to. I got that out of the way with my first film. A huge hit with audiences and critics alike, and the winner of several Academy Awards. Picture Show offered a remarkable showcase for Shepherd's allure. most notably in a pair of highly erotic scenes. Said footage was snuck to Playboy magazine without Shepard's consent, and an ensuing suit resulted in a top-dollar settlement. The picture leak was just one of several scandals revolving around Shepard on that picture. Although she is noted for her long career, which has spanned decades, she is also known for things she does off-camera, particularly her many affairs. She stated that she had affairs with co-star Jeff Bridges, screenwriter Larry McMurtry, and producer Frank Marshall. Peter Bogdanovich became her mentor. During the filming, the director cast a 21-year-old model actress named to play a young seductress. Then life imitated art. The director and Shepard soon fell in love, and Bogdanovich divorced his wife of 9 years, Polly Platt, to be with the young actress. The couple stayed together for 6 years and never married, but are still friendly. Cybill had an affair with Jeff on the picture, Peter revealed in 2017. Then he left town to do a week of his military service, and by the time he got back she was with me, which was really not an easy situation. Their relationship was referred to in the press, and by both parties themselves, as a Svengali-style mentorship. Though critics were split on Shepard's talents, she went ahead with her acting career, landing another terrific film for her sophomore effort, comedienne Elaine May's The Heartbreak Kid. In the comedy, she played the object of married man Charles Grodin's affections. Again, she attracted as much negative press as positive, but she had a knack for good projects and for working with the right people, who knew best how to present her. That is, until she reunited with Bogdanovich for a 1974 film adaptation of Henry James's novel Daisy Miller. Bogdanovich's mentor, Orson Welles, had at one time declared that Shepard was born to play the role of free-spirited 19th century heroine Daisy Miller, but critics disagreed with a vengeance. Shepard herself later admitted that the role was out of her range at that point in her life and career. With the film's failure front-page trade news, the first step in a long and painful fall from grace began for former wunderkind Bogdanovich, a fall that many in the business watched with unmitigated glee. Perceived as egotistical and pretentious, the director had not always made friends along the way, and consequently Shepard suffered by proxy. Unfortunately, Bogdanovich delivered his own coup de grace with his next collaboration with Shepard, a musical based on the songs of Cole Porter titled At Long Last Love. Though Shepard was a trained singer, the director decided to record the vocals live on set, rather than using pre-recorded tracks, which yielded less than stellar results. Critics and audiences had an almost physically negative reaction to the film, and excoriated both star and director. Bogdanovich would spend the next 30 years trying to revive his career as a result of the film's failure. It was panned by Village Voice critic Robert Christgau, who wrote, "Her voice is surprisingly pleasant, but you'd never know how these songs sparkle, since Cole didn't like to do it with or to women very much. Maybe the do is as hostile as it sounds." A series of less successful roles followed, including The Lady Vanishes, a remake of Alfred Hitchcock's 1938 film of the same name. Already sitting in on an acting class taught by Stella Adler, Shepard was offered work at a dinner theatre in Norfolk, Virginia, and turned to friend Orson Welles for advice. He encouraged her to get experience on stage in front of an audience, anywhere but New York or Los Angeles, away from the harsh big city critics, and so she moved back to her hometown of Memphis to work in regional theatre. During the 1970s, Cybill made Taxi Driver with Martin Scorsese. By the early 1980s, her career was in decline, until the former silver screen siren embarked on a whole new phase of stardom on TV. Her other endeavours included writing biographies, singing and stage acting. She has been known to sing with a number of famous crooners. While shooting the TV movie The Long Hot Summer, Cybill fell once again for her co-star, which she said she had an intense attraction to. "We lasted a nanosecond on the porch and rapidly progressed to my bed," she revealed in her memoir. "It was like wolfing down a candy bar when you're starving, fast, furious and intense, and it was all over in 5 minutes. In 1982, Shepard returned to New York and was cast as Maddie Hayes on Moonlighting, which became the role that defined her career. The producers knew that her role depended on having chemistry with her co-star, and she was involved in the selection of Bruce Willis. While social media beefs and Twitter fights are all well and good, lovers of celebrity gossip know that the best drama can be found in the long-term actor feuds that have been going on for decades. Take, for example, Bruce Willis and Cybill Shepherd. Considering most stars are little less loose-lipped about such matters, Cybill's frankness is something we don't normally see, but there's a reason for her honesty. "I just don't like to lie about sex," she said on Larry King Live in 2000. "I started out, the only way to survive as a sexual being, growing up in the time I did and the place I did, was to lie about sex. With the birth of my first child and my involvement with my first husband, I basically stopped lying. I just didn't want to lie anymore, because it reduces the stature of the person you're lying to." Beginning in 1985, she and a young Bruce Willis played detectives on the dramedy series Moonlighting, the project that made him famous. But a hot sheets tumble with Willis tanked, even after their on-screen smooches prompted Shepherd to ask, "Are we going to do something about this, or what?" That night a hot and bothered Willis popped by her home with a bottle of wine, and it wasn't long before we were passionately sucking face, and nearly tipping over her lounger. When Shepherd suddenly had second thoughts because of their work relationship, Willis readily agreed it might not be a good idea and left. "We never did finish what we started, but any time we had a kissing scene, he stuck a big camel tongue halfway down my throat," she said. Her ultimate fantasy of three in a bed came true after told of her desire to a TV stuntman boyfriend. Her lover offered to bring in a pal, a fellow stuntman who promised discretion, an idea she couldn't resist. Having all the pleasure points being attended to simultaneously, rather than sequentially, made me feel adored, emancipated, and more relaxed, she beamed. She has admitted to a string of affairs with co-stars, refused to name the actor who she said threw me around the kitchen. She said she didn't have the courage to make a police complaint at the time. The assault happened many years ago. When she told the actor she was dating that she wanted to see other men, she said, "He jerked the necklace off me and he threw me around the kitchen," she recalled. "And he said to me, 'Don't even think of getting the keys to your car because I have them, and you're not getting them to be able to get away.'" She said another couple in the house restrained the actor long enough for her to escape. "I tell you something, that changes your life forever," she said. "It takes a while to trust men again. It takes a while to trust yourself again. You wonder, how could I end up with someone who seems perfectly okay to suddenly be demanding and me saying no and then to be terrorized?" Cybill proved beauty only gets better with age. Any fan of hers knows how breathtakingly beautiful she was during her youth. Beauty is as beauty does. I just lucked out. It had nothing to do with talent. The actress noted how rebellious she was as a girl. "I had to repeat Jim because I was rebellious," she recalled. "I was a rebel girl. I was a bad girl for a long time. I'm a good girl now, though." She was the face of some of the most high-profile advertising campaigns in the 1970s. Her primary source of income has been a commercial spokeswoman for L'Oreal beauty products. She makes a pretty penny doing it, but she aspires for more. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new here, and if you want to support my work, please visit my Patreon page. Now it is your turn. What do you think about the life and legacy of Cybill Shepherd? She is indeed a multi-talented artist who continues to bring glamour and excellence on screen.